Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the February 2026 Godcast. I am here today and we're going to have some fun catching up. I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Alfonso Monzo. So, hello, Alfonso.
Hello.
And we're going to spend some time today going through what Dr. Monzo has going at
hmm
Well-Being by Design. So, this is going to be fun to get into this month and really learn more about what he's been working on. So, like always, I'm going to start with a quick prayer. So, Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this time. I want to thank you for the people that are listening to the information that Dr. Monzo has and is going to bring forth. I thank you for the knowledge and the wisdom that you've given him. I thank you for the clearness and the path that he's on to help people find healing. And just amazed at the beautiful journey you put him on and knowledge to bring this forth. I ask for protection around him, continued wisdom, discernment, and knowledge, and that everyone that listens today can find something that will help them get to that place of healing and really look at what Dr. Monzo is offering uh, humanity, all of us. So I thank you, Lord, for being here today. Please keep our conversations on track. And I ask all this in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
And I have a
All
light
right.
there. Okay. All right. We're going to have some fun today. So I want to hear what the latest is going on with well-being by design, and
hmm
there has to be some new fun stuff coming up. I mean, there's got to be some new things that you're working on. We haven't really kind of recapped just what you're doing for, I don't know, maybe 6, 8 months, something like that. It might be around that long.
Probably longer. So now there's probably things that are new that I don't even remember as new.
I know, which is great because it's like, oh my gosh, you just keep moving forward with all this good stuff. So even though, we're
Yeah.
we're new into 2026. So I'm just curious kind of to start with is what are your goals that you have for this year in regards to your ministry? Like what are the 2026
Yeah.
goals?
We have a number of them. The first one obviously is there's a number of projects we started last year. Last year, I don't know, last year was a strange year. It seems like the year just went fast and there was a whole lot of working harder but getting nothing done.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. So we have a lot of projects that were on the table that were like so close to being finished. So this year we're hoping to finish a lot of those and get those released. Um, the second thing is we really want to focus a lot more on educational focused. So um, trying to think of different ways to do that. But one of them is obviously I'm working on some newer training courses that are going to go along with Dr. Yearley's institute, so Life Training Institute, and maybe Brighteon University and stuff like that. But just overall, I'm trying to get to a point where I'm seeing less people and getting more into the educational field. Um, Not just educating practitioners, but that is a huge goal, is we need more practitioners trained
Yeah.
to do what we're doing, but also just training people on how do you take care of your own health. So that's huge. Another thing, working with Azure Well. Last year was another one of these years where we put a lot of work in and we didn't really get one new product released. We're hoping that's going to change this year. So this year we're going back into the focus of um, releasing liquid, liquid tinctures and herbals so that we have
Nice.
products for
Mhm.
kids and even and adults. Because obviously we know, unfortunately, a lot of people have a problem swallowing capsules. And if you're a certain age, capsules and powders and stuff, it's pretty hard to get down. So we would like a whole line of liquid herbals, combinations, and all kinds of different things. So that is going to be a big project this year, is
Awesome.
hopefully bring out some new products for Azure on that. A fourth thing is we're trying to improve. We have a new website for well-being by design. And so the Dr. Monzo site looks really good. The well-being by design new site is looking good. But we're trying to get into that part of how much and how do we use social media. Because in the past, our ministry and healthcare clinic here has always just been word of mouth.
Mhm.
And that has been fine. But what we're seeing now is there's more and more people who are waking up. There's a whole new group of people who really don't know anything really about holistic health. And they're
Yeah.
kind of waking up to, hey, there's this really weird stuff happening to us, long COVID, or there's this nanotechnology everyone's finding in our bodies now. How do we get that stuff out?
Mm.
And it's like, okay, how do we get the message to them safely,
Safely.
you know, with them understanding? Because there's so many things you can't say. But
Right.
I think that's important because there's huge groups of people out there who are suffering with all kinds of the weird diseases today.
Mhm.
And I think everyone in the natural health field uh, kind of understands now that health is not as easy as it used to be. 20 years ago, it was really simple. Change the person's diet, get them eating organic, get them, do a couple cleanses, get them detoxed, and people were fine. Today, it's a whole different ball game. It's like now we almost have to detox daily. The amount of toxins and the amount of all this weird weaponized nonsense in our synthetic biology really is what we're
Yeah.
dealing with. This synthetic biology stuff is weird, being made by little machines and all the stuff they're spraying on us. And
Yeah.
the battle seems to be very fierce these days. Ever since post-COVID, things are
Yeah.
different. It's not the same
Yeah.
as it used to be. So it takes a lot more work to get people healthy now. The basics just aren't enough anymore.
Right. Yeah. There's stuff in us that
Mhm.
was not there before and shouldn't be there.
So that's another thing we're really focused on. I think a goal for this year is um, can we finally get something released that would have to do with kind of like the coherent restore. The coherent restore is a phenomenal therapy. We have a lot of practitioners trained in it, and we've just seen absolutely amazing results with it. So that's dealing with knocking out weaponized pathogens, nanotechnology in the body. But is there something we can make that's like a version of it that people could do at home? Because really, the coherent restore requires a practitioner and someone who's trained to know how to do it. Because you don't want to set yourself on fire to say it maybe the wrong words, but if you try attacking the stuff on your own without uh, someone who's trained, it can really mess you up.
Yeah.
But can we do something, some type of product or some type of system that people could use at home to help keep this stuff eliminated quicker? And then maybe,
Yeah.
then people could do coherent restores maybe, once every couple months or something. So these are ideas that are things we would like to see this year. Uh,
That's
the
awesome.
last one, this would be a God thing. I don't know how we're going to do it, but it would be great if we could find uh, some type of way to passive income, some way to generate tons of income that would go into the ministry so that the ministry could offer a lot of its services basically almost for free. Now, how is that money going to be generated by something that's righteous and not? I mean, I guess it would be pretty easy if you got a bunch of girls to go and dance around almost naked. You could probably bring in a lot of money. That just doesn't happen to work with our ministry. So, I mean, you could sell illegal drugs. I guess that could be another thing that doesn't work with the
That's not going to
ministry.
work either. Yeah.
No, so, we have to do something that honors biblical principles that could bring in money that could almost run this place without having to charge people. Because I think that's something that's really needed. If we could get tons of people in here doing hands-on therapy almost daily, and they didn't have to hardly pay anything, that'd be huge.
Yeah.
Because right now the problem is everything we do is out of pocket
Yeah.
because insurance doesn't touch this stuff. People are still struggling. The
Mhm.
economy's not good. So even having someone come in maybe once or twice a month to do hands-on is like pushing it. And it's like, well,
Right.
we really want to be working on people almost every day. I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if someone could come in and get worked on 2 or 3 times a day?
Yeah.
So how do we raise the money to run the ministry? That's the question. So that's another one of the big goals this year. Can we figure out a way to do that?
I love that. I was actually having that conversation with someone the other day who has um she is a healer and she's
Mhm.
still working in the medical world, but she'll be leaving next year and she's helping people for free and doesn't want it to, like you're talking about, doesn't want to take, God's told her not to charge.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, well, this is a perfect way when somebody, a neighbor talked to her husband, he goes, well, I'd be willing to donate to that. And it's
Yeah.
like that's the idea of the ministries that we have is having somewhere that if people feel good about what's being done and what we're trying to do for humanity, they can donate to it. And people donating means that other people could actually receive the
Right.
services for free or donate what they want to for it, which would be wonderful because there are people out there that can donate. And
Mhm.
then getting to more people, you're right, because everything, there's no insurance for this. It's all out of pocket. So it really is shifting the system to look at, all right, how do we get the word out so that more people that do have the money who get what we're trying to do and be able to donate so that others can receive the services. I love that. So just knowing that that's come up twice in the last 2 days is like, okay, Lord, you're working on something. You just need to show us what the plan is so that we can help people
Mhm.
this way. But in the
Yeah, because
meantime, they need to donate to
yeah,
actually get services and they need to donate for your services and the same things we're doing. It's how things keep going forward. It's how
yep.
we keep moving forward to help people as we put all this together. So I love that that came up twice. And I love what you're saying too about Azure because that's awesome because we're expanding the relationship with them as well. So I love that
Mhm.
all of these things are starting to really align and Life Training Institute coming on also as another education layer. So God's bringing all of these to us and it's all kind of it's weaving together. It's fun to see it put together. Like you said, last year was, nothing happened. I wish it had happened, but nothing happened. And I get frustrated too. It's like, okay, Lord, we've been working on all this for a bit and it feels slow, but I also know
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
it's his timing. Can't push anything that's outside of his timing.
That's
And
true.
and then I keep looking, it's like, oh, well, as I watch other things fall apart, his timing is perfect because it's like he none of this will be ready until he's ready.
That's right.
So it's a slow process of getting there. But I love each of the things you're talking about, especially with the education. So, what other, I mean, those are maybe some of the new projects. What other kind of like breakthroughs? I mean, even if there wasn't a ton last year, I'm sure, knowing you, there had to be some breakthroughs of kind of exciting stuff that may have happened. So, what's newer?
Well, we've already launched one thing this year, and
Okay.
this has been a project,
This year meaning 2026?
yes,
Okay.
and that's the Aleph-Tav Body energetic patches. So this is the box. Now, this is something
Oh,
I've been working on. Um, I probably started working on around 2012, 2014. I had some more breakthroughs. I think 2017 was the first time I had the first prototype, which we used for a couple people. And until it's taken that long, almost 10 years, to
10
finally get the final
years.
ones. So
All right, so
inside the box
obviously
is tape, just
is
because we just give you
tape.
some medical tape. But in
Okay.
here are patches. Now you get,
What did they look like?
so if you see that,
Okay.
that's the ATB positive,
Okay.
that's the negative. And if
Oh,
you look at them,
cool.
they're silicon, food
They're
grade
thick.
silicon. Yeah, food
Okay.
grade silicon patches.
So they're not like peel on and off like some other patches.
Nope. And that's why we had
Okay.
the tape in there because we want everyone to use their own sticky.
Okay.
Because what I have found over the years is that everyone has different reactions to stickies. So
Right.
you put a sticky on here, then you don't know how people are going to react. The other thing is these are reusable. You don't throw these away.
Right.
You can just clean them.
So there's,
And so
it says,
inside there, if you see on the back side, I don't know if depending on the light, you can definitely see on this side the reflection, but on the back side, sometimes there's gemstones in there.
okay, yeah. So, okay.
There's a material that reflects light.
So there's a positive and negative. So obviously there's a reason for that. What is inside of them?
There's all kinds of things. So there's different gemstones in
Like
there,
what?
like amethyst, and there's like four different types.
Okay.
Some of them have metallic particles inside, like
Okay.
copper.
Okay.
There's different amino acids and a couple other things in here that kind of make the magic. You could say it's actually not magic, it's all physics. But the reason those are in there is they hold frequency.
Okay.
So these are
And
programs.
do they maintain frequency? Do they
Yes.
maintain it? It doesn't wear out or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
On the back side, which is the side that faces out of the body, is
Okay.
just like a hologram label. That's just to tell you this is negative and the other one's positive. And of course, we have them color coded,
Okay.
black for negative and red for positive. So
Okay.
one is positively charged, one is negatively charged.
Okay.
And then there's a light reflection material out there that's actually 100% linen. So everything in the material is all 100%. It's 100% copper, it's 100%. All the materials are non-mixed, actual materials that do not cause incoherence to the body. Because a lot of problems with a lot of patches out there currently is they use synthetics, which can cause some incoherence to the body on a minor degree. So the
Okay.
purpose of these patches is one of the benefits is resonance. The frequency is
So,
programmed in here.
so for people that don't know, so let's step
Mhm.
back for a second. The
Yeah.
ATB,
Yes.
explain the ATB and why it says ATB and how it might
Yeah.
work with what you do.
Yeah, that's probably important because I don't know how many people. So
Right?
Aleph-Tav
What if,
Body,
somebody comes on here and they have no idea what ATB is, so we have to explain.
yeah, so ATB stands for the Aleph-Tav Body System. And that is probably my main system, the main focus of, I don't know, 26 years now of me studying. And what that is it's a system of energy in the body that's governed by master control points, almost like acupuncture, but it's completely different. And these control points line up with the Hebrew letters because each point is actually a Hebrew letter on the body. So it's the language of God on the body. And these different points act as telecommunication systems. So those are the systems, those Hebrew control points, which is why it's called Aleph-Tav body system. That's the first and last letter in Hebrew, the Aleph and the Tav. So in Greek, we would say Alpha Omega. That's where Alpha Omega came from, Aleph-Tav. So the Aleph-Tav is two Hebrew letters is actually in your Bible over 8,000 times. It's never translated. And that's because there's probably a lot of reasons why. Supposedly the Jews weren't really quite sure how to translate it, but I think it goes deeper than that because Yeshua, Jesus, that is Yeshua, it's his Hebrew name. So for those that don't know, he claims to be the Aleph Tav. So the Aleph Tav is not just a summary of all the Hebrew letters, but of the word who became manifest. So I think the reason why you don't see that word translated in your scriptures a lot of times is because it actually points to someone who is the creator, the Aleph
Okay.
Tav. Okay, so you have these points on the body, and they act as telecommunication centers. And they have all the information for how the body is supposed to function, and they're transmitting that information throughout the body so the body can continually heal itself and manifest and do what it was designed to do. And of course, it connects us directly to our creator who spoke the words. So that's what the Aleph Tau body system is, and it even controls your DNA. So we're always finding now that the enemy is constantly trying to corrupt that system of the body to mess up your communication.
Yeah.
Because if you can mess up the communication, you mess up anything. The communication is what controls the chemistry, which then controls the cells, which then controls everything. So The oldest method of working with these points that's recorded in history is just simply touching two different points with your hands because your left hand is negatively charged and your right hand is positively charged. So this
Okay.
was considered an ancient laying on of hands that seemed to come from lost tribes, Israel, lost
Right.
tribes that took it to Japan. Japan brought it over here called Jinsen Jitsu. When it got to America, Jinsen Jitsu was kind of taken over by the New Agers, and they kind of New Aged a lot of stuff. They kind of just started making up things. Dr. King of the King Institute got a hold of it, and he brought it back to a lot to its Christian principles. And then when I got a hold of it, I started studying around, yeah, about 2000. It might have been a little bit before 2000. And it was 2010 when I realized, hey, these points are actually Hebrew letters because they have the exact same meaning as the letters. And then the numbers line up. The points on the body were numbered based on their resonating frequency. So they're not in order like acupuncture points. Like if you know how an acupuncture point meridian works, like you pick one, you say the lung meridian, like a lung one point's going to be here, and then it's going to go down the arm, and they're just going to label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in order. These points are not on order in the body. The ones are in the inside of the knees, the twos are on the back, on the top of the hip, the three's all the way up here, the four's up here, but the five's all the way back down on the bottom of the feet. It's like, why are they out of order? Well, they're not out of order. They were just numbered based on their resonance. A one is a one, a five is a five. Someone didn't label them, they just identified them. And then when you line that up to the Hebrew letters, you find out they line up with the Hebrew letters. Not only that, but the meanings of what those points control in the body match the Hebrew meanings of the original Hebrew letters when they were pictographs, because the original Hebrew were pictographic language until they got to Babylon, when I think Daniel changed them to the modern form of the Hebrew letters.
Okay.
If, yeah, if you ever read that passage in Daniel where there's an angel that comes to him and he says basically, uh, it, in the Hebrew, it literally says, take the book and conceal it as into a code. It gets translated to us as, like write this book and seal it until the end of the time. And it's
Right.
kind of like, did Daniel write a hidden book that we haven't got yet?
Yeah.
No, when you really look at the Hebrew, you realize it was the book. Well, we know what book that is. That's the Bible. And
Right.
conceal it. Well, how do you conceal the meaning of the words? Well, you change the shape of the letters, so you take away some of their meaning. And
Wow.
what is resurfacing now in these end days? Everyone's going back to the Hebrew pictographs all of a sudden. For a long time, people didn't even believe those things were real. They're like, oh, they weren't pictographs. That's not. Now we have all this archaeology that proves no, the original Hebrew was pictographic. And during the time of Babel, it all changed. And Daniel had the scribes that came out of Babylon with him, Nehemiah, Ezra, all those guys. They rebuilt the temple. That's why they were released from Babylon. So these people in Babel, and Daniel was one of the chief magicians in Babylon. Imagine that. These were kind of like the New Agers of New Age. They were in charge of all knowledge and secrecy. And here's Daniel. He comes in as this Jew, and he's devoted to God. He wouldn't bow down to their gods, but he's able to interpret these dreams. He's able to everything he put his hands
Right.
to was promoted, just like Joseph. So he becomes the head of all the magicians of Babylon. So the knowledge he had to have, whether it was esoteric or not, was must have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So if the angel comes to him and says, "Hey, you're going to change the shape of the Hebrew letters and you're going to change them, and by doing so, we're going to conceal some of the information until the time of the end," that's crazy.
Wow. That's wild.
But that's how the letters relate, and that's what the Aleph-Tav Body system is. So for
So
a long
give
time, it was
give an ex
simply hands-on, and the hands-on is amazing. I mean, we have emergency procedures that can stop a heart attack in progress, stop bleeding, all these things. Those are emergencies. For the chronic conditions, usually it takes a lot of work and a lot of time, and that's the only downside to the hands-on. You can't hurt yourself, but it might take a long time. So the idea of creating other modalities, in
Right.
my book, I list 7 modalities. I listed the patches even because I knew I was eventually going to have them. But that's why we have the light with lasers and the sound therapy, like Dr. Sorjan and Tammy and other people who have the understand the ancient solfeggio notes and how that lines up with the Aleph-Tav body. And we have lifestyle. So we have 7 different modalities. The patches were one of them listed in the book. So the idea of patches is you can wear them. Like there's points right here. These are the 21s. You could actually, they kind of almost stick, but if you had tape, you could stick them on your points.
Do
So
you, so do you, does it say in the book where these patches have to go on your body for that chronic disease or whatever it is? And then do you have to wear them all day or could you sleep with them? Like how
you
long do you
could.
wear them?
I tell people they can
Because
wear
I
them
don't
up
know if I'd
to,
want to walk around all day with those
yeah,
on by my nose,
no,
taped to my face.
or on your forehead. What are those patches on your forehead? Was that the
Right.
mark?
No, put it
Like,
right here.
no,
There's the mark.
marked with the olive top.
Oh, yeah, we're marked by God. We're okay.
Yeah.
So,
No, I tell
so
people they
how,
can wear them up to your tolerance level.
so
So
how do you know what your tolerance level is?
that depends on what happens in the body. So if you start
Okay.
detoxing, if you just can't handle it, if it's too intense, because once you put these on the points, it's starting to get the points resonating correctly and energy
Okay.
moving in the body. So you could start feeling all kinds of things. You could feel pain, you could feel heat, you could feel cool, the body might start shifting and realigning itself. The body's going to try to start healing itself. But unfortunately, as we now know, a lot of what we get as negative symptoms is the healing process.
Right.
So it's just a matter of can you tolerate it? Now, what you get is get 7 positive and 7 negative. And the reason why is sometimes you have to wear more than 2 patches. So
Okay. I
when
was
you
going to say,
find
okay.
an application in the book, you use the patches just like your hands. So everywhere it says to put your left hand, you would put a negative patch on that point. And everywhere it says to use your right hand, you would put a positive patch on that point. So you
Okay.
could almost put patches on an entire application and you can
Okay.
wear them for, a couple hours, 8 hours,
And
12
how long
hours.
and how long do they last?
We don't know exactly how long they're going to last. As far as the materials, as long as they're not breaking in half, they're never going to go bad with the frequencies that have been programmed in them to work with the
Okay.
Aleph-Tav body points.
Okay.
Now, the question is, how long is it going to take for these to break down, putting tape on them, taking tape off, cleaning them with mild soap? We don't know that one yet. I mean, they should last a really long time.
Okay.
And that's the nice thing about them is they're reusable.
Right. They're not like a peel and stick sticky.
Yeah, and the other way you can use them is for practitioners who are learning how to do this. This is going to go great with the self-help class that we're thinking about doing for
Yeah.
ATP.
Yeah.
But for practitioners, if a person's laying on your table, you can literally put these patches on all the points you're about to touch, and then just touch
Would
right
it be
next to them.
would it be a double touch?
Yeah, because you would just, if this was on the point, and then you would just put your hands right next to it,
Okay.
and the point would still be activated. And we're doing that now in the office, and what we see is the points come into balance and resonate together way quicker.
That
So
is
it's
so
speeding up
cool.
the application process.
So
We
what are you
we
using to
just
test?
launched these this month. So at the beginning of February, yeah. And I've gotten 2 or 3 testimonies from I think they're mostly practitioners that have bought them so far,
Okay.
but they are seeing some really positive results already. And one person said they're sleeping better than they ever have. They've been wearing them at night. So we can't wait to hear how many testimonies could possibly come from these type of patches. So completely different than LifeWave patch or anyone else out there because these are really specific for the Aleph-Tav body points.
Yeah.
But those points control everything in the body. So who knows what's gonna?
Oh, that's so much fun. So how are you testing the resonance? Like when you're putting them on, even if you're doing, hands on somebody and now you're
Mhm.
doing the patches, how do you test to see how they're working?
Oh, a lot of that comes from the training. So when
Okay.
you're touching two Hebrew control points, you will feel, or you should be able to feel, it takes a little time for some people, but some people pick it up right away. You should be able to feel energetic pulses.
Like tingly,
So there's 7 cycles. Each
right?
cycle has its own pulse texture. And this is how you know they're not cardiovascular because one could feel like almost like a heartbeat, like boom, 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 boom. It has a
Okay.
reverberation. Another one, a first cycle pulse is very electrical. It actually feels like electricity or a really sharp, stabby point. Almost feels like you're getting electrocuted almost. I mean, it doesn't feel bad, but it just feels like,
Right.
wow, what is that? Fourth
Tingly.
cycle feels like water with little bubbles, like almost bubbly water flowing over rocks. First cycle, I explained. Second cycle can feel like a lifeless beat, just like a boom, boom. Third cycle feels like this big puffed up balloon, like it's very puffy. It almost feels like it's pushing you off.
Okay.
Get off me.
Okay.
Um, I think that's almost all of them. Sixth and seventh cycle feels like just a nice, I call it fluffy pulse, like a perfectly baked cake. We call it fluff with tone. It has a little bit of
Okay.
tone, but it's a pulse. It just kind of feels like this perfectly baked cake, and that would be sixth cycle. And then when sixth cycle balances into seventh, which seventh is what you want, it just feels like one pulse everywhere, like this nice fluff with tone, almost like if you can
Oh,
imagine a cloud with a pulse.
yeah.
It just feels perfect. So when you're touching the 2 points, you're going through all those feelings until they're both this nice, perfect, fluffy pulse. There's absolutely in sync to the point where you can't tell the difference between the two locations. And
And
that's how
then,
you know the 2 points are resonating and communicating correctly now.
okay.
So
And
yeah, you can feel that.
each of those 7 points is going to have that different
Yep.
resonance or
Mhm.
movement and frequency. So you would know. Does it
Yep.
ever just go, if you put them on two spots, if you put them on two spots, is it automatically going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Are you going to feel all of those? Or is it just where you put them on, you feel that specific
No,
tone?
it always goes through the order, except
It
it's
goes
not
through
in
the order.
order.
Right.
It's always complicated. The order is different. It's like three, 3, 5, 1, 2, 4, 6, 7.
Okay.
I know that because I work on a lot of people, but uh,
So it's going to cycle. You're going to feel
they're always
those
going to cycle
feelings through
through.
the cycle. Okay. Very
And sometimes
cool.
they cycle really fast. I mean, you can go through 2 or 3 cycles sometimes in a second, so you don't even actually feel them. So you can
Okay.
go from one feeling to another feeling. And now the other thing that's really interesting about that is each cycle is related to different colors, different musical
Okay.
note, and different emotional. So what you actually see is the feeling of the pulses is almost the expression of the emotion to that cycle.
Okay.
So like third cycle, I described it as a puffy balloon, almost like feels like someone's pushing you off, like
Right.
this balloon about to explode. Well, third cycle is anger, frustration. So
Huh.
it feels like someone who's puffed up about to explode, like get off me.
Yeah.
Fifth cycle is a very that's shame, and the shame produces the perfectionist and the like OCD driven go 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 type of person. So it feels like that cardiovascular pulse. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
It's like my way. It's like go, go, go. Second cycle of sadness and grief, it feels like that lifeless doll beat, just boom, boom. First cycle is worry, anxiety, so it has that really electrical jittery, well, not I wouldn't say
Okay. Yep.
jittery, but tingly
That makes
electrical,
sense.
just zzz.
Yeah.
Yep. So the pulses are actually expression of the emotions, which is
That's
really, really
crazy.
fascinating.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
So the
I want some.
Aleph-Tav Body patches,
I want some of those.
$77.
No, that's not bad at
No,
all.
I probably way undercut myself. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
They're not
you can always.
easy to make. There's a lot of work involved in pouring these things because none of it is done by a machine. We do this all by hand. So we have these big
Oh my
molds
gosh.
and we make the material, we put all the stuff on it, we program it, and then we have to put it in the modes and pour the modes. And
I want a set. You can always raise the price later. I want a set of those. And it
Yeah.
needs to be something, is it already up on the website? Because I know when
Yes.
our members go through, they get a discount with the first conversation with you
Mhm.
when they get with you. But those are on the website now for people to order.
Yeah, you go to drmonzo.com and then you go to products, shop products. I think it's ATB products or something like that. Yep, you can see them up there. And there's probably a disclaimer saying, please be patient because we've had so many orders already come in. We had hundreds and hundreds made before because I knew they were going to be popular, but
Right.
I also didn't know I was going to be giving people seven positive and seven negative. I wasn't
Right.
sure, but some of the longer applications in the book, you might need about that many.
Yeah. Well, and that's something too, because people need to realize that these work in conjunction. If they're not going specifically to a practitioner or driving up to see you,
Right,
that they need the book to go with this to understand where they
right.
put it. And then the book is kind of, I mean,
Either book.
it's elaborate, it's heavy, it's a book, it's meaty. Do you have anything else that's coming out that might be a little bit more lightweight or
We
something for
do.
people?
Actually, we already have the ebook.
Okay,
So
there's
they
an
could get
ebook.
either book. So the ebook is called Healing Made Simple with the Aleph-Tav Body System.
Okay,
So the ebook took out a lot of the history and the science and all the fluff that's in the big textbook that practitioners want to know. It took all that out and it only has applications in there on how you work on yourself. So it's
okay,
just self applications. It still has the emergency stuff in the back of the book, but applications and things that you can't do on yourself or that were designed to work on someone else, we left that in the big textbook.
okay.
So if a person has the textbook or the ebook, you can just use the patches just like you were going to use your hands.
I love it. And is there something else that is handy that people or practitioners are going to be able to use?
Yes. So this is something we haven't released. Uh,
But it's coming sometime soon.
Coming really soon. I hope in the next month or two at the
And
most.
and
I
and
hope in
and
the
this
next month.
and this is going to be for individuals or practitioners? Both?
Both.
Okay, good. Okay.
So we wanted to make application cards. That would be the original idea was pocket size. Didn't quite end up pocket
Flashcards.
size, but we
Flashcards.
flashcards. So if you can see it,
I
it's not
love
that
it.
big, about the size of my hand.
Your hand,
They
that's
came out a
perfect.
lot thicker, but these are really thick cards. They have the UV coating on them. It's like a postcard. So if you think of very thick postcard, it's probably thicker than a normal postcard, but very thick postcards. And what these have is it's going to have all the applications from the book on one page. And
I love it.
so they did come out thicker than we thought. Originally, we were going to put a hole and have
Put a little
a
ring.
little ring. We decided that's probably not going to work. I think the ring's going to break. It's going to rip. So instead, we're going to replace that hole with page numbers because we didn't put page numbers in because these cards are loaded with information.
Yeah,
And so we're probably going to get a little like nice bag or something like this that the cards can fit in.
there you go.
So they're still
You could
travel size. And
you
the
could
idea
still
is when you're,
you could zip tie through the hole. You
yep.
could zip tie it.
The idea is when you're working on someone, you can take one card out and put it on the person. Or if you're working on yourself, it has the self applications on here. And these ones are color coded by positive, negative. So if you can see
Okay.
the menu on one side is only black, on the other side's red.
Yeah.
The red is your right hand, the black is the left hand.
So
So
the
it
positive,
matches
negative.
perfectly with the patches again. So you would
Yeah.
just put the patches where it says
Where it tells you to.
black and positive where it says red, and it tells you what point you're touching there. And
It's
this is the
recharging the
only this
battery.
so the only thing we don't know right now is what the cost of these is going to be and what kind of container we're going to put them in. I think the bag's the way to go. I don't want to make them too heavy. I want
Yeah.
them to be travel. I also don't want them to get torn up. So we actually don't know. This was a sample print he gave us for the cards to see how they would come out. he didn't actually tell us what the cost was yet. So I'm still waiting to find out what is the cost of printing these things. They came out beautiful. We've been working on them all last year.
That's
Uh,
exciting.
the other thing that's really exciting about these, because for those who don't have a book, if you have the Aleph-Tav book, and I don't have mine in front of me, it's
It's
huge.
big.
It's
It's big.
430 pages. It's spiral bound because it's a reference book. And you're going to go back and
Okay.
forth all the time. So we didn't want to do a perfect binding or something because the book would fall apart. But for practitioners, and even for use at home, it's kind of a pain because it's a big book. And when you want to do an application to yourself or to someone else, you have to flip through the book and find the page. So the idea with the cards is once you know what you're going to do, you just take the one card out that you need and
Right.
you can travel with them. You don't have to carry your big book around.
You're not
The other
lugging the
thing that's
book.
unique
Yep.
with these is this is the only thing I've printed so far that has both left and right applications. So in your
Okay.
book, it will tell you how to do the left application of everything. And then in your head, you have to reverse everything to do the right application,
Okay.
which sounds easy, but it's a lot more tricky when it says left hand goes to right 22 and right hand goes to left 22, and you're going this and this. And then you have to go, oh, now I have to reverse it in my mind. So now this, the cards have it all written out. One side is the left side, the back side is the right side.
That's going to be helpful.
And we have there are some details on the cards, not everything like the book. It doesn't replace the book, obviously, but there's some of the key details on the card, and some of them have pictures of the points and the pathways. So this is the first time you have something that actually has a picture of the right pathways, because in the book,
Okay.
all the illustrations are left. So these ones have left and right. So hopefully in March, these will be able to be released, and I'm hoping that the cost won't be that bad, but I think it's something that a lot of people are going to want. Something that's easy to carry around.
Easy,
And
handy. Yeah,
we'll probably make a little training video that goes along with them so people know how to read it and what's in there. But it'll be absolutely phenomenal for practitioners because if you're working
that's
on a
going to
lot of
be
people, you
great.
need something like this. And I used one just the other day because there was a newer application that's actually not in the big book. And I put it in the cards and it came up for someone. And I was like, where do I have that application? It's probably in a PowerPoint slide. Now what? I'm like, oh, my card. Ah.
You got it in the cards.
So
That's awesome. That's going to be super helpful. Things just keep moving forward. They just keep getting better and better. I'm excited.
yeah.
I want a set of those little guys.
So
I want
that's
it.
two projects that we worked on intensely last year, the patches and the cards. And now look, the patches are here already. And
Yeah,
hopefully next month the cards will be. So all the work last year is now finally starting to pay off here. So
that's exciting. And then this year, how many in-person classes are getting scheduled for this year? Like
yeah, that's a
where are
big
you
one.
teaching?
We don't know yet. Usually we do
Okay.
one per season. And in
Okay.
Ohio we have 4 seasons. So now this year we're trying to do a special one in Montana. That's in May. So we're trying to bring
Okay.
a lot of people in Montana, so we need people to register. People are holding off, but hopefully not much longer because we need to know. I think next month is like the 14th. It's like the cutoff. We need to know how
E-
many people
Yeah. And
because we have to
is
plan
that up
around
on
plane trips and all that
is
stuff.
that
And
up
if
on
we
the
don't have enough,
website?
yep,
Is it up? It's up on the website, and this is specifically for the ATB class,
yep.
correct? Okay.
So that's the hands-on. So you don't have to be a practitioner. We have everything from stay-at-home mom to doctors, even medical doctors who have come to our classes. You don't have to have any prior knowledge or training. So what happens is usually when how we do the classes now, they used to be 5 day all day classes. Just too long, too much for people to afford because it's not just the price of the class, it's the price of not being home or being able to go to work for a week.
Right.
And that's really, and housing and food, that really adds up. So what we do now is we have condensed the class to a 3.5 day. And we put like 20 hours of training videos online.
Okay.
So when a person registers for a class, they get the online portion and they start watching all the videos before they come to class. So by the time they come to class, everyone is ready to start working on each other. Because the big part of class, the in-person, is working on other people and people working on you to get
Right.
practice on what does it
Practice.
feel like? How do you do this? What is it like working on another person? And then you're
Yeah.
getting worked on too. So, I mean, that's great for people that have health issues because you get a lot of hands-on during this 3.5 days. You actually have two hands-on sessions a day. And usually people are paired up in the teams of three. So two people on either side of the table, one person on the table. So two people working on one, and then you rotate, and then you rotate. So that is really powerful and a great way for people to learn. And that goes through the big textbook. So if you want to know how to work on yourself and other people, the Aleph-Tav Body class, the next one scheduled is the one for Montana.
Okay.
If that for some reason falls through and we don't get enough people, we're probably going to have one here in Ohio around the
Okay.
exact same time. And then every season, we should be adding another one to the schedule.
So there'd be at least one every quarter somewhere. Okay.
Hmm.
And people need to realize too, like when they're members of Freedom Healthcare, they actually get discounts on these classes. So
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I sit there and tell providers and practitioners, like, look, you either if you want to leave the existing medical system and actually start healing people, there's education out there like this so they can actually learn something that is actually going to be healing people and
Right.
or even just expand on if there's holistic practitioners out there, expand on their knowledge base and add something else that's going to be
Mhm.
helping people because it's amazing what God has given you and shown you with all of this. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
For practitioners, I tell people that ATB is phenomenal. And but if there was one thing to add to your practice, the one thing I would probably do out of all of our classes is the Aleph-Tav Body Coherent Restore. And that is a whole, you get all the technology and the training together. And this is technology that I developed to knock out the weaponized pathogens in nanotechnology. So you're using laser light, you're using with frequency, you're using um, magnetic devices, you're using sound, you're using the Hebrew touch points, so laying on of hands with prayer. And what we're doing is we're disintegrating that weaponized stuff and the nanotechnology out of the body. And it also works for a lot of the synthetic biology, like the spike proteins, that's synthetic biology that nanotech's making, a lot of the peptides, the venoms, all this weird stuff that we really didn't deal with a whole lot. I mean, it's always been around since the 40s,
Well,
but I
right, but our
mean, it's
body it
exponentially
wasn't
worse.
yeah, and it wasn't supposed to go into our bodies. It
No,
wasn't
not
supposed to
supposed to be
be,
in your body.
yeah, it wasn't supposed to be on purpose put in our bodies. And I used to think about that because, looking at ways of cleaning the blood or the nanotechnology, there's
Mhm.
ways out there, but I just kept thinking like over the last couple of years with everything that happened with the shots and the nanotechnology, I thought it's going to come down to God's creation that actually does this and his voice that actually does it. And I thought I knew it had to come somewhere around frequency, through frequency, his voice, as well as the magnets just made sense to me. Like the magnetism was just making sense. If you have metal inside something, it's going to attract, a magnet is going to attract metal. So
Mhm.
those just stuck in my head. And I love it that you have that because those made sense to me. That was common sense of how you would actually get this stuff out of our body.
And the Aleph-Tav Body, the coherent restore is another one of those things that was a long process coming. I really started developing that probably back in like 2018. And then it wasn't until 2020 when I really realized, oh, this is why God's
That's
having me
why.
develop this. And he
Yeah.
had to give me a lot of revelation on this stuff. Because when I first started really diving into what are weaponized pathogens, I knew, okay, yeah, the government's making things in laboratories, but they just mutated. When I really dove into what they were making, I was like, oh, this stuff isn't just mutated. This is like they're taking multiple pathogens and mixing them together into some new chimera, and then they're adding in toxins and nanotechnology. So it's half machine,
Yeah.
half pathogen. You can't
Right.
just throw herbs at these things. I've seen it for
No.
years. you just go around in circles with the herbs because it's just not enough because it's half machine.
Right.
So the idea is, well, what happens if you hit the machine with a strong enough electrical or really magnetic pulse? Well, it erases the software, it erases the program. You deactivate the technology, and now you come along with the herbs and the natural stuff, and you can get the stuff out of the body. But if you don't deactivate it, it's not going anywhere.
You
So
got
it
to
was a
kill the
long process of him
software.
showing me this, right? Because at first, what I tried to do when I started realizing what weaponized pathogens were, and then I started realizing what nanotechnology was,
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, we're just going to detox this stuff out of the body. And people wanted to kill me because it was like this stuff, when it realizes you're after it, it gets really nasty. So I was like, we need to come and find a way to like hit it before it knows that we're after it.
Right. It's thinking. It literally is thinking.
Yeah, it's connected
It's
to AI,
technology. Yeah, it's
5G. So this
technology.
stuff is, artificial intelligence now. And it,
And people, yeah, and people wonder too. It's like I there's a bunch of different social media groups that talk about whether it's, pharma free or whatever, and people that are really ill, and everybody just keeps talking about detoxing. Well, there isn't success happening with just detoxing, or
no,
what you think should be just thrown at it. These bitters or these herbs or whatever are not doing what people think. They're not having the success of just a natural detox. Well, like you said, we're not dealing with just little flus and colds and things that we
right.
could get away with herbs with. This is serious stuff, and it's going to take a lot more to be able to get it out of people.
One more thing about that too, and that's what, kind of brought us together, this whole idea of uh, freedom healthcare is the idea of spirit first. So the
Mhm.
biggest problem I've had in trying to get this message across, even with being on stage with frontline doctors and stuff, is as soon as you start talking about this type of technology, where it came from, this is demonic technology. This technology was not made by men.
Yeah.
So as soon as you realize this came from the fallen angels, the Nephilim, the demonic kingdom, people don't want to talk about it all of a sudden. But that
Right.
means you have to have God's creation, the good herbs and whole foods,
Right.
technology, but you also need the spiritual side. So when
Right.
we're hitting the points on the body with the laser, with the different frequencies of the inverted frequencies to disintegrate the stuff, we're also having the person touch points on their body and we're praying over them. You
Yeah.
have to bring in the spiritual side because some of this technology, it's it's technology, but it's not
It's
technology
demonic.
as in what you see. There's like
Right.
demonic software
It's
technology.
demonic.
It's
Right.
spiritual technology. So without the prayer part and the spiritual side, you're not going to knock this stuff out. So it's like you're
No.
combining all three things, the natural, the technology, and the spiritual, and then you're
Right.
hitting it all at once. And it gets blindsided and it doesn't, the stuff doesn't even know what to do now all of a sudden because now you brought the spirit into the room and it's like, okay, now we're going to take care of business
The
and actually
spirits
get
in
that
the
stuff out,
room. Yep.
right?
And it's true. And that's why, talking about this for almost 5 years now is like the piece that's missing in our medical system is the spiritual aspect. Well, it's never about getting well or healed. You're worth more money by staying sick. So the spiritual has been completely pulled out, where when we know healing comes from our creator,
Mhm.
and like I'll tell people, it's like it's his nature, big N, and his nature, little n, creation that heals people. He, along with creation, is what's healing people and will heal people. It's not going to work. No one's getting well in the existing system. And now with everything that's been weaponized,
Mhm.
it's intense. This is warfare. So warfare's got to be taken out with the spiritual aspect of prayer and our creator, along with the other things that are here on earth that we can use.
And
But it's
unfortunately, the enemy is smart. So now what
mhm,
you're starting to see is a lot of people are waking up. So a lot of
yeah,
people are flooding this field of
yeah,
holistic health care with stuff that's
yes,
not holistic and with
right,
ideas that don't work. And they're
right,
not addressing the spiritual side. They're just
right.
marketing and new products to sell.
Yep, that's it. I've watched that in a few that have said they were new parallel systems. I've watched ones come along and just,
Hmm.
we're just going to sell you this supplement or this, this is going to detox for this. And I'm like, there's no proof. You guys have no proof of this. And over this last year, I'm like, it's just throwing spaghetti against a wall. Everybody's just trying to throw stuff at this and they have no idea what they're dealing with because they're leaving out the entire spiritual aspect of what's actually happening.
And all it does is causes a lot of confusion because
Yeah.
people spend a lot of money trying a lot of things and it doesn't work. And what that does is
Doesn't
it
work.
makes the whole field look bad.
Right.
That's what they've been trying to do ever since the Rockefellers took over. They
Right.
want holistic healthcare to look stupid. That's old wives' tales. That's old stuff. That's not
Right.
science. And they
And
do
it
that by
all,
watering down the stuff. So people are out there
mhm,
trying all this stuff that's not really holistic health, but
right.
it's marketed as it. They don't get any results and they go, oh, yeah, see, that natural stuff didn't work.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
well, the fake natural stuff didn't work, but the good stuff works. The good
The good
stuff's
stuff.
just usually
I'm
illegal.
I'm sorry. God actually heals. I don't care
Yep.
what anybody said. God actually heals, and He's doing it, and He's going to continue to do it, and it's going to get bigger and better, and it's definitely more
Mhm.
exciting. So you mentioned a couple other than ATB, May, another couple of this year. Is there any other education that we missed talking about, or classes or training that are coming up? Is that most of it?
That's most of it. That's what's
Okay.
out there now. Now we have plans for a ATP class that's just for working on yourself. So I'm gonna probably start filming for that pretty soon. That should be able to be all completely online. So
That
that's
would
probably
be,
gonna
yeah,
go along with Dr. Bill Yearly at the
yeah,
Life Institute. And I think we might put that on Brighteon University too, because there's a number of people who want to host this. So I could host it on my own site. I could put it on these other sites.
yeah,
More, what's that called? More visibility, I guess. More,
right.
different avenues. Different people have different marketing systems. So if more people can see this, because there's a
Yes.
lot of people out there who only really want to know how do I use ATP on myself. I'm not
Right.
going to be a
And how do
practitioner.
I take care of myself? How do I just heal myself? I don't necessarily want to go to a doctor. I don't trust my medical doctor anymore.
Yep.
How can I just heal myself? Well, you have to actually take ownership. It has to become no more
Mhm.
doctor patient. It has to be teacher student. Well, you have to take ownership of your own health
Yep.
and actually do something, which means you're going to have to really look at your diet and not die anymore and shift what you're eating to healthier foods. I mean, you have to start somewhere, but you have to take ownership. But,
Yep.
me personally, other than, wanting to come up and see you, I'm like, I want to heal myself. I want to do what I need to do to heal myself. So somebody teach me the right way to heal myself. Don't give me just a bunch of supplements. Show me what works. Tell me what's going to heal me. And I think there's more people out there because they've are now so distrustful, not only of the allopathic and the medical system, but now if they have been given supplements and whatever, and they're not seeing the results that they need, whether it's long COVID or whatever, they're now, like
Hmm.
you said, they're going to be distrustful of what quote holistic is. So
Right.
it's like people need to actually be trained on how to take care of themselves. And I think that for themselves, I think that's where we're going as we leave this bigger system, this beast system that's been covering everybody for so long and getting everyone out individually on their own to try and work and heal themselves. So
Hmm.
I think that education will be important, and that'll be cool because with as we bring on Life Training Institute and the International Faith-Based Counseling,
Yeah.
they're coming on within the next, I don't know, week or two with Freedom Healthcare, and all of our members will get 15% off all the courses. So
Great.
everything that we can do to bring to humanity ways that they can heal, like with ATB, with the patches, with, everyone that wants to actually help people heal, not just make money off them, but want to see people healed. And that's the
Exactly.
goal. Like even
I
going
have to
back to
talk
what
to
you,
Dr. Bill again, but we were even throwing around the idea of, we can do a bunch of different courses, but we might even want to put together a degree for like biblical energy
yeah,
medicine or something,
yeah,
biblical energetic modalities, because guess what? There's a lot out there, and a lot of them are a lot of really new age woo-woo.
right.
And but the problem we're having now with the technology, with the AI and
Yeah.
everything, is now we have a lot of this talk about med beds, and it's like, what are they?
They're yeah,
And
they're coming
everything
up
I've heard
again.
about them
It's
sounds like
popping up again.
alien technology. It's like
It's popping up
these
again.
other people
Everybody's like,
brought the med
they've
beds to us, and it's
right,
like,
they have
you
to let the
mean
med beds out
demons?
again.
So it's like, what are med beds? Then how are people going to know? Because a lot of
Right.
the terminology sounds very similar to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And
are they
that
new? Are they not? Who developed the technology? What does it really do?
and even something you said earlier with, needing to do more social media and that kind of stuff. We are seeing the speed of AI,
Oh, it's crazy.
not only with social media, everything. And I was talking about this maybe 2 months ago. You could still tell what was AI. It's moved so fast that you no longer can tell
You can't tell
what
anymore.
is real and what isn't. So the deception, because I think we're living in Satan's short season, the deception is through the roof. Nobody knows what's real and what isn't. So
Hmm.
it's going to be really important that it goes back to a grassroots type effort of
Yep.
stepping away from everything that's true media to get the information to people in a community level of
Hmm.
how can be healed. How do you find this healing? Because the AI is moving way too fast and they're going to come up with new education. Like we can't even trust Google anymore. I mean, the search is it's
No.
1984. Like everything's been changed.
People need
But
spiritual discernment.
you need that Holy Spirit discernment.
I was just
And
talking about this with someone the other day. It was like, I've seen some recent AIs of Trump, right? And you knew it was AI just because they were talking. I mean, it was the most ridiculous, funny video of him
right,
saying these off the wall crazy things. And I was just sitting there going, you know what? If this was a serious conversation
right,
and someone posted him going, alert, we're under attack and we're being invaded and go to your store and
right,
stock up and blah, 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 you could cause massive amounts of fear for people to actually realize that's actually not the president speaking.
right. It's that good now.
It's that good.
It's that good. And the only thing you can see, because you can tell before the differences, the way they looked and stuff, the only way that I've noticed lately that you can tell is AI doesn't do well with appendages. It
Hmm.
doesn't do well picking up appendages. So if there's something funky about hands or feet, that's
Hmm.
one thing. It's still not clear enough. And then the other thing is, as you watch some of these videos, there is always like a little shake or shift with the person talking. There'll be some little click or shift
Hmm.
where it stops and starts for, a millisecond. And you know that that's fake. But I get people sending me things and they think it's real. I'm like, this is not real, but you're believing it. So the division is growing, the deception is
Yeah.
growing. And we have to be bigger than this and step out of what's happening to get people to God because they are being deceived so intently. It's seek, kill, and destroy is what he likes to do.
So these all become areas of possible training
Yeah,
because people might need to be trained on this stuff. But I think it's going to be important for people to understand what types of energy medicine are biblical
right,
and what types are, or what should we be looking out for. Like the
right,
med bed things. My question is, who created the technology? What is it saying it's going to do? And
right.
if you tell me it's coming from aliens, I know automatically, no, that's demons.
Those are demons, exactly. And if it really worked, well, the government's been hiding it all these years. Here's
Yeah,
what I hear is the government's been hiding it. Well, they don't want us healed anyway, so that kind of makes sense. But it's like, who did it anyway? Like, did Tesla make them? I might think it might be real if Tesla made them, but we don't even know because everything
you
else
don't
has
know.
been taken away.
Yeah, all you find is hokey videos about them. And one video I
Yeah.
saw, I was talking about upgrading your DNA, and I was like, well, I don't want
You,
my
I don't
DNA
know.
upgraded.
You're not
No.
touching my DNA. Sorry. We've already got the CRISPR-Cas technology out there. We don't want anything messed with.
So I think in a lot of ways, the enemy is probably required to kind of give you a little bit of hint.
Oh,
If they would have
always.
said restore your DNA, that would have been okay, that's fine. But like upgrade your DNA, that's like key terminology right there that you're like,
Right.
I don't need my
Have,
DNA upgraded.
haven't you noticed that though? And I don't know where it came from. I figured this, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, that evil has to tell what it's doing before it does it. There's some universal law
Yeah.
that's in place that they have to tell you what they're going to do before they do it. And they're very out in the open. You're passing it by, you're not
Yeah.
watching, but evil has to say what it's going to do before it does it. And Hollywood's really good about putting that kind of stuff out
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it shows you ahead of time what they're going to do and they say it. They say what they're going to do. They have to. People are just not paying attention.
Well, I think is supposedly it comes from the theological view that there's a passage in the scripture, I can't think where it is now, where Yahweh says, I do nothing unless I reveal it through my prophets first.
Okay.
It's almost like he made a universal principle that he's going to reveal his plans first, so does the enemy.
Oh, which would make sense because he
Right?
counterfeits everything.
Right. So it's like these are the rules. You can go out and do what you want, but
Yeah.
you kind of have to give people a warning. Now, whether or not people listen, well, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, they're still not listening. I'm amazed that people still don't have a clue. There's still people out there getting COVID tests. I just shake my
Oh yeah.
head.
Yeah. And
I'm just like,
we actually had plenty of warning before COVID happened that something was
yeah,
coming. And it was
yeah,
probably going to be nonsense. I mean,
yeah.
so
And
unfortunately,
they just did another one. They did it last month. Another preparedness plan. They just did another run through.
oh, really? Was it a big meeting?
Mhm.
So they have something planned. Well, I can tell you what,
Yeah,
ever since Thanksgiving, what they have been spraying has really been ramped up. I'm,
yeah,
when I'm testing stuff now, samples, I'm seeing a lot of biological warfare, which is
yeah,
different than the weaponized stuff. The
yeah.
biological warfare is just warfare agents that you use, like Agent Orange and things that just
Right.
cause a lot of problems. And I'm like, wow, they have really upped the ante
They've
here.
upped it.
Apparently, their shutdown plans aren't working.
You know what
They
I was,
haven't
you
been
know what
able
I
to
was,
shut us down again.
I
So they're like,
know.
well,
And
let's just kill them.
that's exactly what I was thinking because it's like, well, they didn't kill off enough of us the first time around. They didn't get enough of us. So like the spraying that's happening here, which is horrific. My friend's still in Arizona. I see the pictures every day. So I mean, Tennessee, even though we have the law passed, we have been bombarded
Yeah,
for
they haven't stopped
months.
anything yet.
They haven't stopped anything, even with the law passing. So
Yep. More
they didn't
reasons
get it.
everyone has to detox because that's what the
Yeah,
whole game right now I'm seeing is nonstop
yeah,
uh, e- exposure to toxic metals
yeah,
and this germ warfare stuff, and they're just trying to shut down your detox pathways. So
yeah,
more reasons for people to detox.
yeah,
That's another thing we're actually going to work on now. Like on our website on Dr. Monzo, we actually have a supplement package that says the 90 essential nutrients, whole food, because I talk about the 90 essential whole food supplements. Well, we want to make a package that is a safe detox package
yeah,
because a lot of people don't know how to detox correctly. And if you do it the
right.
wrong way, you end up with twice as many problems.
And everything out there is piecemeal. Everybody's like, well, you need this and you need this and you need this. I'm like, who even knows what works? Everybody's just throwing spaghetti against the wall. Let's try this detox. Here's another detox. Let's try,
Yep.
clay or EDTA or here's a little zeolite or whatever. Nobody knows what works. Nobody has anything that they know that actually works. They're just trying to sell supplements.
Yep. Yep. So,
Here's something I think you'd find interesting because um, I started the Daniel fast January 1st just
oh
to
yeah,
really clean my system out.
yeah.
But I also my stomach had been sketch for a while, and I tried some different stuff and it wasn't working. I got some sipping olive oil,
Mm.
and I've been taking a tablespoon of olive oil in the morning every day for a couple months now. My stomach's great. Stomach is great. So I think about biblically. Let's think biblically
Yep.
always. And
Health.
what was one of the prime things in the Bible that was always there and part of sacraments and
Mhm.
everything else was the olive oil. And I've noticed a big difference going, I didn't need these other things. I needed to go
Mhm.
back to the Bible
Basic
and
things.
and it's a basic thing.
Yeah.
So everything God's got it all. Like it's not like we have to, create anything new. He's already given us everything. It's just getting it out to the people.
Yeah. Finding the right tools for the right thing.
I love your little patches. I want to get those. That's going to be fun. All right, this is cool. This is going to give a lot for people to think about. Um, Everybody can find Dr. Monzo at drmonzo.com and
Yep.
wellbeingbydesign.com or
Yep.
.org. Yeah.
It
And
has a hyphen in it.
there's a hyphen in it. And
Well,
then they
that
can
hyphen
also
being, yep,
and
by
they can
design.
find them through our website through Freedom
Yep.
Healthcare, so freedom-healthcare.us. He has a discount for first timers that come and visit with him and set up an appointment. And then this is going to be cool. The education is going to be cool. It's just clicking along. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you of everything that God's been has done and given you and what's coming. I mean, it's just the timing. Just it's just time. It's his time, but it's the timing of everything too. So
Yes. Definitely exciting times now.
it's getting more fun. There's more coming. Everybody needs to stay in the word. They just need to stay in the word. They need to be staying
Stay in the
connected
word and
to
stay out of the fear.
and stay out of the fear. Faith over fear, always.
Yep.
Faith over fear. All right, well, it's good seeing you. This was going to be a fun. This is a fun one for February, and we'll see what comes up for March. But thank you for being with us, Alfonso.
Well, thank you.
I'll
Shalom,
talk to
everyone.
you. Bye, everybody.